Hi everyone, this is my presentation for my passion project titled Balancing Passions with a Group. To start off my project, I had to develop an idea. The initial ideas were either a cooking tutorial, learning how to draw, or covering a song on cello. Cooking and playing cello are both things that I'm very interested in. I do often, I would consider myself passionate about, and learning how to draw is something I've just always wanted to do. But after thinking it through, I decided the best path for me was to cover a song on cello because it is something I've been passionate about and has been part of my life for a very long time. So I was very interested in trying to do something new with it. So I chose to cover the song Lead Toast by X Ambassadors. So I have played cello a lot before. I've done recitals, concerts. I've played with groups in smaller gatherings. And I wanted to do something that was a little different from that. So my idea was to take this song and to add more to it. I wanted to kind of record this song with a basis of 3 people and then be able to add more to it, like footage of me playing bass and then some piano loops and then a cajon part. So I was going to learn more about GarageBand and editing together using iMovie, and then also just the experience of coming together with others to perform music. So the aspects of putting the song together, first I had to break down the original song. And by doing that, I figured out tempo, key, and time signature. Which, for those of you who aren't musicians, tempo is how fast a song goes, key is what notes you're playing, and time signature is how the individual measures are broken down. This song was pretty straightforward. The tempo was 120, which is common middle of the road speed. Key was A minor, which is no sharps, no flats, just all natural notes. And the time signature was 3/4, which is the trickiest part of the song because the time does vary throughout. After that, and in doing that, I had to watch a lot of covers. I saw different variations of it, but I stuck to mostly what the band was doing. And I played along with their original track. Here there's actually a version of the band doing it live, which I used to help figure out some variations they've done. And over here is some guitar tabs that I used to figure out the key of the song, because an A minor G F chord progression is normally tied to a song in A minor. Normally the key that starts it is the key of the song. I know if you don't play an instrument, you might be a little lost to this, but these are just the rules that I had to follow in putting it together. And then after I had that, I realized that I do not have all the skills I needed to put the song together, so I had to recruit other people to help me out. So finding the other pieces, the parts I couldn't do by myself were the lead singer part, because as much as I love music, I've never dabbled in singing. I would not consider myself a strong singer, so I had to find someone else for that. And also acoustic guitar, which is something I had tried before, but playing more than one note at a time just baffles me, so I never really got really passionate about that. I intended to have my younger sister Carly as the lead singer, and then the guitarist was going to be a friend from back home, but as you'll see, it didn't quite pan out that way. Also, I included these because this is what I had the singer go by to learn the song. It's just the original version, so it's simple. We could both use the same thing, so we're not on different pages with each other when it came to performing. And then this is actually just a tutorial of someone playing the guitar part, which I sent to the guitarist because I felt like it was a pretty good indication of exactly what he needed to do throughout the song, so he wouldn't be doing much of it by himself. So I kind of gave them the tools they needed to do their part. However, things didn't go the way I wanted them to. I choose this quote by Jared Brox, which is, "Without an agreement on purpose, a team cannot work in unison." This is important because through a lot of what I've seen on successful teamwork, it is important for people to have a common goal, a purpose, something they're all working towards. Whereas in this, that wasn't really the case. I had a purpose for this with my project, and obviously doing well on my project and creating something I'm passionate about, but the other 2 people don't necessarily feel the same way as I do. In this case, they didn't have to do this project. They were doing me a favor. So if they don't do it, it doesn't come across as a significant loss to them. So sadly, this leads to me losing the guitarist. The guitarist decided he didn't directly back out, but every time I tried to make plans with him to get us all together to record this, he kind of kept pushing it off. He had other things to do. It wasn't really important to him, And after 2 weekends of being pushed off, it came to the final weekend before this was due, and he still really wasn't giving me any indication of interest. So I came to this point now where I was like, okay, how do I rethink everything? I tried to get around not having his part by maybe playing piano. I was going to try to fill. I had ideas like learning acoustic in a week, which maybe if I spent the whole entire week doing nothing but acoustic guitar, I could have done that. I also thought about picking a new song and finding a new guitarist, but the problem was I had let this get pushed off to the point where I thought this person would come through and help me out, but it didn't seem that he was interested in executing this. So I had a week left and I had to figure out where I was going to take this project. This over here is actually a tutorial on the tutorial itself is called How to Create a Whole Song by Yourself on GarageBand, because that was an idea I had on just completely throwing this to the wind and figuring out a new song and just doing it all myself. But that I had already gone so deep into this that I didn't know if that would actually be beneficial and it would execute the point of the project. So I kind of took a new path, and I decided to move it in the direction where I was going to use what I had learned about teamwork and working with others to get a different lesson out of this project. I wanted to figure out ways to work successfully with others and figure out where I personally went wrong in putting this together. So to do that, I looked at some other resources, and these are a quote I found really helpful to my specific problem here, and it's by Tammy Strang. It is, recognize the strength of interdependence. Much as the many parts of an engine work together to get a car running, the members of a team rely on one another to get a job done. The awareness that others are relying on you can prompt a greater sense of responsibility that often results in a better end product. And I thought this was kind of very specific to like the problem that had gone wrong with me, because in this sense, I had needed everyone to work together to get the job done. And just to be clear, my little sister, who was the singer, was totally on board with helping me. She liked having the responsibility. She liked the idea of being able to put it all together. And I thought that by bringing other people in, it would enhance the product and make it a better performance for other people to watch. I just hadn't planned on the one part falling out. The second quote that I thought was quite relevant is, properly structured group projects can reinforce skills that are relevant to both group and individual work, including the ability to break down complex tasks into parts and steps, plan and manage time, refine understanding through discussion and explanation, give and receive feedback on performance, and develop stronger communication skills. And this is a quote from the Carnegie Mellon University page for Professor Help on how to get students motivated to do group projects. So I thought this was kind of relevant because also I'm a student. And once again, this ties to the project I was trying to accomplish, because breaking tasks into parts and steps I feel like was really relevant to music, because I had to break down the parts of the song and there were steps to putting it all together, which I needed other people to do. Plan and manage time is a place that I fell apart on this. I did kind of kept letting this get pushed back and thinking that everything would find a way to tie itself together. But as last week went on and the person still wasn't willing to help me out, that didn't seem like it was going to be the case. Give feedback is important through music overall. Music's all about critique and working together with others, and develop stronger communication skills. I also feel like if I had communicated better with the person who ended up backing out, I would have gotten farther with this project. So this is a slide on what I could have done better. Personally, extra time using appropriate technology and finding a suitable space. Could have found time with the guitarist to just maybe record him just playing so I had it all by itself, and I could have added everything around that. Sadly, I didn't get a chance to do that because it just didn't work out that those things fell together. So this brings me to, is group work a blessing or a curse? My perspective on teamwork, I've always been the student that loves the idea of working with a group for things. And I even took a poll on Twitter, which would you rather do a midterm and final project in a group or by yourself? And the majority of people said by themselves, but it wasn't a crazy difference. As you can see, it's only 1 vote difference, and 7 people voted in total, so it's not like I had a huge sample size to go with here. So my takeaway from this is that a quote by Michael Jordan, which is, talent wins games, but teamwork and intelligence wins championships, which I thought was important because, yeah, you could be a talented musician by yourself, but you're not really getting anywhere unless you can work together with groups for this. And as a final note, my sister's beautiful voice didn't go to waste, and luckily my dad is a fantastic guy who has been playing guitar for 30 some odd years. So while we were all sitting around the house the other night, we were able to put together this. It's not as polished as I had hoped, but it is a nice version of us singing the song together, and I'm going to end this on that note.